That is not what I wanted to see. Hello and good morning and welcome back to Get Up and Game, where we like to start every day off right with a game on the table. Today the game on my table is The Lord of the Rings the card game by Fantasy Flight Games, and I am very excited to be concluding my series on looking at the new starter decks. We took the Sylvans through Mirkwood, we took Rohan through Mirkwood, and those were both so fun. We took Gondor through the Oath, and that was fun. The Gondor deck was okay. I enjoyed it less than the other two. It's just pretty straightforward. And now we're taking the dwarves. They're picking up where Gondor left off, chasing down these goblins, trying to rescue these villagers. And I'm excited to see what the Dwarves of Durin have in store for us today. Now, for the first time, I actually took advantage of the fact that these decks do come with a sideboard and you can swap some cards in and out. So I went ahead and did that. I'm not a big fan of healing herbs, so I took out both of those. And I noticed that they have the Feely Keely combo in the sideboard. So I took out a few of my dwarf allies and put in Feely, 3 copies of Feely and 1 copy of Keely. Or maybe it's 3 copies of Keely and 1 copy of Feely. I don't remember which one's which, but I've got 3 of the leadership one and 1 of the spirit one. And hopefully I draw them in the right order and I get a free dwarf ally. So let's get started looking at my hand here. Oh, I should probably load up the quest, huh? We gotta play a quest. So we are going to be playing, go down to the 2-player limited edition starter, because we're going to be playing the Caves of Nibin-Dum. Now, I've heard this one is harder than what we've been doing so far. This might actually be a challenge. We haven't been challenged. Whoa, that's a lot of cards. Boy, I sure hope I don't start with all those. We're going to see if the dwarves can handle it. I have played this quest before. I owned the 2-player starter, but it has been a long time since I played this quest. And I like I said in the last video, I probably only played it a couple times, so I don't remember anything about it. So we're just going to have fun going through it. So as I was saying before, I realized I didn't even have a quest for us to play, that I'm really not liking our starting hand here. I definitely don't want 2 of these dwarves in my hand. So one of the big themes about dwarves, if you don't know, is they have cards in their deck that if you can discard them off the top of your deck, you actually get to activate them, to play them for free. And this dwarf is one of them, and I've got 2 of them in my hand, and that's not, we don't want them in our hand, we want them in our deck. And even though I have Legacy of Durin, which is sort of the Steward of Gondor of cards for dwarves that you really want to draw in your opening hand, it's going to let you draw a card every time you play a dwarf. Once per round these days, unfortunately. Didn't used to exhaust. Back in my day, Legacy of Durin was completely broken. But now it's, probably fair. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and mulligan this away. I'm not happy with what we've got. Please, please, please give me something better. What do we got? Oh, we still have a very good tail. That's good. 2 Gandalfs. That's not great. Bram. This is awful. This is just a horrible hand. Huh. Okay, well maybe we can work with this a little bit. I've got a plan. We'll see. So let's figure out how this quest works and why I'm looking at 82 encounter cards. So we're playing the Dark of Nibin-Dum. Is stage 1A of the quest, the Caves of Nibin-Dum. Says you have pursued the goblins. Well, Gondor pursued the goblins, but the dwarves are the ones in the caves, so they're gonna take over. You have pursued the goblins that attacked a woodman village to the mountains of Mirkwood. The trail leads over a steep ridge where you discover the forgotten dwarf home of Nibin-Dum. You light a torch and enter in. So the setup, we search the encounter deck for the Goblin Chieftain, Cracked Pillar, and Cave Torch. Set Goblin Chieftain and Cracked Pillar aside out of play. Now those are over here. And we're going to attach the Cave Torch to one of our heroes. Okay. I'm going to put this on Dane. Try not to forget it's there. Now the Cave Torch is cool in these underground miney cavey type quests because they have these dark locations. Well, that one's underground. That one's dark. And you can exhaust the Cave Torch to put 3 progress on it for free. But when you do that, you have to discard the top card of the encounter deck. And if it is an enemy, he has noticed your torch and he will jump out into the staging area, which is just such a cool mechanic. It's really thematic, but it's also very helpful. So we did that. We're still looking at 5 locations. The dwarves abandoned Nibin-Dum after an earthquake collapsed part of the mine, but it seems these goblins have since adopted it as their home. The flickering light of your torch reveals a network of dark passages, and you set about searching for signs of the enemy. When revealed, each player searches the encounter deck for a different location and adds to the staging area. So we get to pick one of these locations, and C-Stan has helpfully pulled all the different ones out for us. So let's see, we're looking at the Goblin Dungeon. Well, right away, reveal the top card of the encounter deck, travel there. No thank you, don't want that one. The Collapsed Mine has 6 progress on it. While it's in the staging area, no more than 4 progress can be placed on the quest each round. Well, that would be fine early in the game. I don't know what's going to happen, so I don't want to rush through it anyway. Branching Paths, okay, this is one I'm familiar with from the Mines of Moria box set. While it's in the staging area, dark locations get +1 threat. When it leaves play, you have to pick another encounter card. We really don't want extra encounter cards. Players must exhaust a cave torch to travel here as 4 threat. Don't really want that. I'm starting to think Goblin Tunnels when the staging area, part of it. Okay, that one's not bad either, but it has 7 progress points. This one only has 6. Yeah, we're going to go with this one. So let me get rid of all these other ones. All right, I went ahead and shuffled all those other locations into the encounter deck, and I think we're ready to get started. So we need to make 8 progress. We have 2 threat currently in the staging area. Now let's take a look at our heroes here. We have Ori, an 8 threat, 2 willpower, 2 attack, 1 defense dwarf. If we control at least 5 dwarf characters, we get to draw an additional card, which is awesome, except we don't have any dwarves in our hand at all. We have Dane, the king of the dwarves. 1 threat, 2 attack, 3 defense. While he is ready, dwarf characters get +1 attack and +1 willpower. So he really is less a hero and more a statue of a hero who just stands there and inspires everyone. At least we're going to try to keep him ready for as long as we can to give that bonus. And then we have Biffer, the very learned, studying, book reading dwarf. He has 2 willpower, 1 attack, 2 defense. And his action is you can pay a resource from a resource hero's pool to add 1 to him. So he sort of helps you smooth out your resources by you can move 1 from Dane to him to give him an extra lore, because lore cards tend to be expensive. So that's nice. And he's a good quester, especially with Dane on the table. In fact, as long as Dane is ready, I'm going to go ahead and add +1 attack and +1 willpower token, just so I don't forget. And hopefully, maybe when I exhaust Dane, I'll just remember when they're not there. But they're more likely going to be there, so that'll just help all of us remember. So let's go ahead and start the game. Shift N. What did we draw? Narvi's Belt. Okay, more resource smoothing. Not exactly what we were looking for. So the problem is, when you're playing a dwarf deck, what you want to do is play a whole bunch of dwarf allies. And I'm looking at 7 cards here that aren't dwarf allies. And I even have this card that lets me exhaust 2 allies to get 2 more for free. But I don't have 2 to exhaust. But what I do have is We Are Not Idle. As an action, you can exhaust X dwarf heroes to add X resources to a hero's resource pool and draw a card. Now, there's another card that used to be a lot better. You could exhaust X dwarf characters. So you used to be able to do crazy things with this card. But again, it's probably fair they fixed these things. I'm kind of glad I'm getting to play through it again a second time with the revised eroded cards. Probably for the best. So what I'm thinking of doing here, and this might be crazy, I'm thinking of exhausting 2 of my heroes to make 2 more resources and playing Gandalf and drawing 3 cards in the hopes of getting my deck jump started here, because I'm not in a great spot. I even have a cram. I could ready one of them back up. This actually, yeah, I think I like this plan. So we're going to play We Are Not Idle. Let's pop this over here. So we're going to exhaust, we'll exhaust Dane and we'll exhaust Biffer. And we're going to add 2 more resources. We'll just put them on Dane. Again, it doesn't really matter. And we get to draw a card. Another card that is not a dwarf ally. Awesome. So that was that card. Now we have 5 resources. We're going to go ahead and spend all of them. So even if we do draw some allies, we're not going to be able to afford them, but at least we can get something going here. We're going to play Gandalf. He is Gandalf, and Gandalf is him. And when he enters play, I can either draw 3 cards, deal 4 damage to an enemy, or reduce my threat by 5. I usually like to reduce my threat, but we're in a tough spot here, so we're going to draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. What we get? Oh, I see some dwarf allies. Huzzah! Okay, we've got this guy as a great quester and not much else. A 3rd copy. Boy, when the allies do show up, we're gonna get more. This is actually not too bad having these in my hand, but all my allies are still in my deck. This might work out for us, friends. And then we did get our copy of Feely. Now hopefully we can get him on the table before we draw Keely, because when you play Feely, you get to search your deck for Keely and put him into play for free. But if he's already in your hand, then you don't get to do the cool trick. So that's why I put 3 of him and just 1 of the other in the hopes we don't draw the other one until the right time. So that is all of that. We don't have any resources left, but what I am going to do is I'm going to take this cram, attach it to a hero, and then you can discard it to ready attached hero. I'm just going to put it on Dane and then discard it to ready him. That way we're getting the boost here again, because we don't have a lot of questing power and he could potentially defend. I think I would just rather have him ready. Maybe I could wait to do that later in the round, but I'm just going to do that now so I don't have to think about it. I'll probably forget if I don't do it now. Okay, so we don't have any resources and no way to generate any more. We can't do a very good tail because you need 2 allies, so even if I wanted to exhaust Gandalf, I can't. So that is going to be the end of our planning. So now we're just going to quest. Our threat's at 26. I don't know how bad the enemies are, but I'm guessing if we get any, they'll probably engage us. So I don't want to leave myself too vulnerable. That has 2. He quests for 3. I'm tempted to just quest with him. That feels like a waste. I'm tempted to just quest with him, but that feels like a waste of Gandalf in case an enemy doesn't come out. So we're going to quest with Gandalf and Ori. So we're questing for 7, so we might make a little progress here. Now we can't make more than 4. But again, I'm okay with that because I don't know what's going to happen next, so I'd kind of like to hang out here. There doesn't seem to be anything too bad on this quest card, so I don't want to make too much progress. So let's go. Well, speaking of enemies, the Goblin Town Scavengers. When revealed, discard the top card of each player's deck. To the end of the phase, increase Goblin Town Scavengers' threat by the total printed cost of all cards. So we're discarding the top card. Please don't be Keely. Oh, Legacy of Durin. That's a good one. Would have liked to have drawn that. But the important thing here is that it costs 1. So it adds 1 threat to the Goblin Town Scavengers. So it looks like we are making 3 progress because there's 4 threat in the staging area. And we can make 3. We couldn't have made more than 4. So that is that. Now this only has 8, so I'm going to be careful not to go too much faster here. It only needs 5 more. Now we don't have to do anything fancy to travel to this, so let's go ahead and do that. Now if I wanted to, I could exhaust the Cave Torch to put 3 progress on this, but I risk getting another enemy. And like I kind of keep saying, and I'll stop saying it now, I'm not in that big of a hurry, so I don't feel like I need the free progress. If we get into a pickle where there's too many cards, too many locations are piling up, and we can't get through them, that's when we could start using it to get us out of it. But for now, we're going to leave it there. Now, the engagement cost of the Goblin Town Scavengers is 12, so I don't think there's a party in the whole game that could avoid being engaged by these guys. So they are going to engage us. Get a shadow card. Dane could defend for 3. They are attacking for 1. If I don't defend, I'll have to put all the damage on one of my heroes, and I could attack back with Dane, but he's only attacking for 2, which wouldn't be enough to kill it anyway. So I think I'm just going to play it safe and defend with Dane. No need to take a whole bunch of damage on the first turn. There is no shadow effect. Excellent. So Dane takes no damage. We can't attack back, but that's okay. We will go to the refresh phase where Gandalf says goodbye. Goes off to do whatever it is Gandalf does when he's not with us. I like to think it involves donuts in a good book, but I suspect it's a little more active than that for good old Gandalf. So, new round. What did we get? A 3-cost dwarf ally. So we're starting to get the allies. That's good news. We have 1 resource on each hero, so we can afford a little bit here. I have to get to 3 on Dane before I can play him, so I'm probably saving for that, but I'm definitely going to bring out the Erebor Record Keeper here. He's going to get the Dane boost. So he is going to be questing for 2, which is nice. And if you want, you can exhaust him and pay a lore resource to ready a dwarf character. That's good later in the game when you need some extra combat power, and maybe questing isn't as important. But for now, he's just going to be a cheap little quester for us. There isn't anything else we can play, and he's not a terribly good target for a very good tail either, because when you exhaust your 2 allies, you add the cost of those allies up, and then that's how much free cost you get towards new allies, and he only costs 1, so. But we're not really moving towards a place where that is good, but where it's really good is with Feely and Keely, because they cost a total of 6. So if I can get both of them out, we have to survive 2 more turns, so we might just really take it easy for a couple turns here. Survive a couple more, play him, go get Keely, then we might be in business. You might see something really cool. So we really don't want to make much progress here. We're going to quest with him for 2 and him for 3, because we have 6 progress, so we don't 6 progress to make on this location, so we don't have to worry too much. And then if I keep these 2 up, hopefully I can finish him off. So that's what we're going to do. What are we going to get? Goblins are upon you. When revealed, we have to go search for another goblin enemy and put it in play engaged with us. Dang it, I don't want all these enemies. Alright, here we go. So we're going to look for an enemy. There we go. So definitely not this thing. Goblin Sniper might not be bad, because those can be difficult to get engaged with you, and this way I can just yank him. I think I did something similar in the last game. Or another one of these. Now, the Goblin Sniper does hit a little bit harder. It's going to hit us for 2. This only hits us for 1, but the Goblin Sniper's easier to kill. Yeah, we're just going to take this guy, because we're probably going to have to take him undefended. And the less damage we take from that, the better. So as much as I would have loved to have pulled a Goblin Sniper out of the deck, I just don't think it's going to work out right. That takes care of that, and that means we make 5 progress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could use the Cave Torch to finish it off, but I don't want to. So now we are going to take both of them undefended, though, because I want to kill one of them. So first one undefended, attacking for 1. And oh my gosh, he gets +3 attack if he's a goblin. He's a goblin. So he's attacking for 4. Thankfully, Dane has 5 hit points, but my goodness. That was nasty. If we get another one of those, we're done. Taking the other one undefended. Now this is really risky. If this hack destroys a character, okay, it's not. Whew. Now, Ori can exhaust to kill one. He's doing 3 damage, which is enough to defeat one. Dane can exhaust. He's only doing 2 damage. Fun little thing, if there was a way to ready Dane, like if I still had that cram or something, he would get his bonus if he would be dealing 3 damage because he would be ready. He'd be able to boost himself. Now, I do have a Durin Song in my hand. For 1 cost, I could increase Dane's attack by 2 to kill this guy, but I'm hoping to save up resources for Feely. But I really want that thing dead. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to pay 1 for a Durin Song. I'm going to give him +2 attack. So he's attacking for 4. And we are just going to take this thing out. I don't want to deal with him. Hopefully, we get a turn or 2 without any enemies, and we can build up a little bit. Okay, we're going to go to the refresh phase. Boost is going to go away. And start a new round. We're in pretty rough shape. Dane already has 4 hit points. I don't know if there's any effects in this quest that deal like just 1 damage to heroes. I sure hope not. That is not a spot I like to be in. Okay, this is good news. We have another record keeper, so some more questing power. And I really do need to keep in mind his ability to ready a dwarf, because that would allow me to use Dane and then ready him back up, or just, ready anybody back up can be very helpful for combat. So I need to remember that that's there. We're going to go ahead and bring him out. It's easy in these card games. I don't know if this happens to you, but this happens to me all the time. That you see a card a certain way, and you think, like, we'll just use this record keeper for an example. I think I just use him for questing. He's a cheap quester. That's what I do with him. And then I completely forget and ignore his other ability because I don't use it very often. And there are certain times where it would be incredibly helpful, and it just doesn't even occur to me to do it because I have fixed in my mind what I think he is for. So that's a trap I fall into a lot with these card games, is sometimes cards are pretty versatile, and you need to keep an open mind about what they can do. And I will just often forget that it's even an option because I've made up my mind already. So I got to try not to do that with the record keeper. I need to keep record in my mind of what he can do. So now I could do the whole very good tail thing, exhaust those 2 guys, but I'm only going to get a 2-cost ally out of it. So that's definitely not worth it. Can't afford Narvi's belt. Can't afford another Gandalf. I'm probably going to try to use him to lower my threat down the road. I really want to build up. We're just continuing to try to build up to Feely. So I think for now we're just going to hold. We're going to do something similar to what we did last time. We're going to quest. We quest with these 2, that's 4. We only need to make 1 progress on this, so we don't want to make too much on that. And if we do fail the quest by a little bit, even still, I'm okay with it because I have a Gandalf in my back pocket to lower my threat. Yep, that's what we're going to do. What we get? Oh, another enemy. Anti-surges. No. Oh, come on. I don't want these enemies. That is not what I wanted to see. Okay. Well, let's see. I made 1 progress. Just kind of ideal. Completes this. It doesn't have victory points or anything. Don't put any progress on the quest. Now, the warg has a 33 engagement cost. We don't worry about him, but the runners are a 20. He's attacking for 3, which he could very easily kill Dane. This is where I kind of wish I'd kept that Durin Song to boost his defense. It's coming down. There's nothing we can do about it. Now, you do have to exhaust, so you have to keep these ready to use their ability. So, can't do anything there. So, there's nothing in my hand that's going to help. So, we just have to decide. If I defend with Dane, he could easily die. But actually, that thing, I could defend with Biffer. You know what? I'm going to defend with Biffer, because then we can still kill him. Let's see, it'd take 3 to kill him in 1 shot. Yeah, let's defend with Biffer. Let's play it safe here. So he's attacking for 3 plus a shadow. If this attack is undefended, discard an ally. Oh, goodness. Well, we avoided that. And Biffer, now he is going to take 1 damage, because he only has defense of 2, and these guys are stabbing for 3. But now, the good news is, he has 1 defense and 2 health, so this will be enough to kill it. That wasn't too bad. That turned out okay. Now we still have this thing in the staging area, and wargs are just the worst because they constantly run back to the staging area and they're really hard to kill. But that is a problem for another round. Let's see, what did we get? Lore of Moria as a 3-cost leadership card, ready all dwarf characters. Well, that'll be great in about 12 turns. Right now, we just need leadership money. Okay, I've got all this lore money that I can't really spend. I could theoretically bring out Gandalf, which is tempting because then it just bomb this guy, but I really want to use him to lower my threat. It's a 29, which isn't bad, but the lower it is, the less you have to deal with things like these guys. I'm really just going to hold on for one more turn. Yeah, so we're just going to pile up our lore resources. We're going to do something similar to what we did last turn. We have 2 threat. We quest with these 2. That's 4. I think we're just going to do that. What do we get? Another collapsed mine. 2 threats. So we make no progress. That is just okay. Okay, I feel like we got a break here. We got a break. We're going to make that the active location. We are, let's see. He's attacking for 3. And it's going to take 5 to kill him. Oh, it is tempting. If I bring him down, Dane could defend, but a shadow card would kill Dane. That's where it's tough. Ah, I wish 4 damage wasn't on him. Ironically, one of the cards I took out of the deck was the Healing Herbs, because I'm not a big fan of it normally, because you have to exhaust one of your heroes. You know, your heroes that are always exhausted all the time and could never possibly be used for any other effects. Yeah, if I had a Healing Herbs right now, my life would be so much better. But we live with the choices we've made. So, I'm probably not going to bring this guy down for 2 reasons. One shadow effect could easily kill Dane. And 2, there's a decent chance that... Oh, wait. This is different than other wargs. When Cavern Warg attacks you, exhaust Cave Torch to cancel the attack and return Cavern Warg to the stage. Okay. See, in my mind, and hopefully you already knew this, so you didn't think I just sounded like a complete idiot. A lot of times, a lot of the other wargs in the game, especially the ones that we've seen in the other quests we've played, they have an ability that if they don't get a shadow effect, they run back to the staging area. And I saw the word warg and assumed that was the case here. So he doesn't automatically run back to the staging area. You can send him back. Well, that is much better. Thank you. Thank you, Fantasy Flight, for fixing the stupid wargs. But still, it's too risky. It's not worth it just to get 2 threat out of the staging area. We can easily just deal with it later. I mean, I know I've got a whole bunch of heroes here doing a bunch of nothing. It's a leisurely stroll through the Caves of Nibin-Dum. But that's kind of what we want. We just want to get set up. The dwarves are nowhere near swarming, and we need to make that happen. We're just going to skip straight to the end of the round. Start a new round. Alright, King Under the Mountain. Attach to a dwarf hero and exhaust it to look at the top 2 cards and pick one, add it to your hand, discard the other. Well, that'll be very nice. But we are really drawing all our leadership cards and just amassing a big old pile of green money. That's okay. The moment we've been waiting for has arrived. Alright, this hopefully will be a super awesome turn. Let's see what happens. So we're going to spend 3 resources from Dane Ironfoot to play Feely. After you play Feely from your hand, which means you have to pay the cost and play him normally if you can't use like a sneak attack or any other effect to bring him out, or you won't get this bonus. After you play Feely from your hand during the planning phase, search your deck for Keely and put him into play under your control. So we are going to find Keely. He should be the only blue card. There he is. All right. So we're going to play him. Close and shuffle. Now, they get the Dane boost. This is where we are going to do some crazy stuff. We are going to play a very good tail. Exhaust 2 allies you control. Exhaust. Exhaust. Shuffle your deck. Well, I just shuffled it, so we're not going to worry about that. Discard the top 5 cards. Put up to 2 allies discarded by this effect into play under your control. The total cost of the allies put into play cannot exceed the total cost of the allies exhausted to pay for this effect. Well, we exhausted 6 costs worth of allies, so we should be able to get, hopefully, something good. So we're going to discard 5 cards. 1. Not an ally. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. After hidden cash is discarded from your deck, add 2 resources to the resource pool of a hero you control. So I get 2 free resources for discarding that, and they are definitely going on Dane because we've got all the purple cards in our hand and none of the purple money. So that was the first card, but no ally yet. That still makes us happy. Okay, Thor's Map, not an ally. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I'm getting a little less excited here. Okay, Feely's unique, so we can't have another one. Uh-oh, this is not going well. 4th card. Okay, Okay, Heirloom Miner. After he is discarded from the top of your deck, put it in a player to control. So we get him for free anyway, because he was discarded. This isn't even part of a very good Tails effect. Please give me at least one. Okay, an Erebor Record Keeper. So we get our third one of these. I'll put him over here with his buddies. So a very good tail yielded us one Erebor Record Keeper, but it also did, by virtue of discarding cards from the top of our deck, give us 2 more resources and this free dwarf over here. So what I was hoping would happen is I would get 2 pretty robust allies. Oh, you know what? This guy costs 3. Okay, we're still going to do it. We're going to play another very good tail. See, this is what I'm hoping to do. Just keep on going. We're going to exhaust these 2. So that's going to give us 4 costs worth of allies, and we're going to do it again. 1. Well, he comes out for free, and that does not apply to this ability, I wouldn't think. So that's 1. Another free one of those. 2. Okay, here's a candidate. 3. Another candidate. Oh my goodness, this is awesome. 4. Okay, not an ally. And 5. Okay, that worked out perfectly. So we exhausted 4 costs worth of allies. These are the 5 cards we discarded, or the 4. We already pulled out the 1. So we're going to bring this one out. And this one out. Now when these enter play, after you play Erebor Hammersmith, okay, we didn't play these. So his response won't trigger. So we don't get to pull out the topmost attachment, which is too bad because a free card would have been nice, but that's okay. Now we're going to close that and keep the order. So now we have all of these dwarves. This is what you want to see. And discard that. And we have 1 more of these. Should I just do it again? How many? We have 23 cards left in our deck. We've already seen both of the other copies of Feely, which is nice. So we don't have to worry about discarding any more of those. We could exhaust 5 more cost worth of allies, and then we might get a Gandalf. Oh, we're just going to do it. Why stop? Why stop here? We're going to exhaust 2 more. This is the most fun you can have playing this game. Okay, here we go. 5 cards. Okay, well, there's... Gosh, I don't even know where to put these anymore. No, come back. I just lay him down there. So that one doesn't even count towards one of the 5. 2, well, it counts as one of the 5, but I mean one of the free ones that I get. Okay, so there's a potential for a free one. I exhausted 5's worth. That was 3. 4 might just be the Hammersmith. Come on, Gandalf. Okay, it's just the Hammersmith. That's okay. It's another free ally. Really, I'm running out of room for all these dwarfs. Okay, no. Okay, stop. So excited, I'm pushing all the buttons. Okay. No. Get rid of that. Would you look at that? It's a thing of beauty. And so we made it. Okay, so let's just take stock of what just happened. So we paid 3 resources for Feely, which got us Keely for free. And then we got 1, 2, 3 Heirloom Miners for free, and we got 3 Erebor Hammersmiths for free. That's what the dwarves can do. So awesome. And we also got 2 resources for free, which we're going to spend. Do we want Narvi's Bell or do we want King Under the Mountain? I think we want King Under the Mountain. It's going to let us draw cards. We like drawing cards. Now we can exhaust it to look at the top 2 cards of our deck, add 1 to our hand, and discard the other. Now, I think there's a way I can just look at 2. Look at top X. Let's tell it 2. So we get to pick one of these to add to our hand, discard the other, or we're going to add this to our hand because we already have a Narvi's Belt. We're going to discard this. We are going to close and keep the same order. Now, we do only have 16 cards left in our deck. We are really chewing through it fast. But even if we run out, the game continues. We just don't get to draw any more cards. And we have this massive, massive army, so hopefully it won't matter. I could theoretically play Gandalf if I wanted to, but I'm actually going to save him. Now that we have this huge army, we should be able to handle anything that comes our way after this turn. You know, half of them are exhausted right now. We're going to hold on to Gandalf in case something really nasty comes out that we want to bomb. I'm a little bit less concerned about my threat now that I could quest for 842 if I needed to and just end the thing. Speaking of questing, so we're looking at 2 in the staging area. We need to make 6 progress just to clear this. I would like to wait 1 more turn to move on just so I have a lot of ready dwarves. Plus we can't make more than 4 progress anyway, so it doesn't really matter how much we level at the staging area because it is capped at 4. I would like to get through this at least. So let me see. Let's quest with him for sure and these 2. That bring... Oh, I'm pushing the wrong... Gotta push Q to tell it that they're questing, so that adds up the questing for you. Those of you who play this on the table, if you're anything like me, you add up all your questing, you go into the staging step, and then you immediately forget how much you quested for. You have to add it up again. I usually end up adding my willpower up like 3 or 4 times every round, so it's very nice to not have to do that here. So that's getting us 7 willpower. Let's send at least a little bit more. That's 9, so theoretically that would clear these if we got a treachery. And that keeps up a couple chump blockers. Let's just go with that. Yeah, let's play it safe. We're set up really well. Let's just take advantage of that. What we get? Oh my goodness. They have a cave troll. 6 health, 3 threat, 6 attack, 4 defense. Those are all really big numbers. Thankfully, another really big number on that thing is 36, which is its engagement cost. So he's not going to come down and play with us anytime soon. But what that does mean is there's 5 threat in the staging area, so we do only make 4 progress. Now, again, I am tempted to use the cave torch, because we've seen a lot of enemies. There can't be that many more in the deck, right? Surely, if I exhaust that cave torch, an enemy is not going to be the top card of the encounter deck. And that would put 3 progress on this, which would mean our 4 progress would be enough to complete this and put 1 on the quest. Let's do it. Let's do it. I know all that stuff I just said about playing it safe. Throw it right out the window. Exhaust cave torch to place up 3 progress tokens on a dark location. 1, 2, 3. Now, after it exhausts, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If it is an enemy, add to the staging area, but it's not going to be an enemy, right? Right. Haha. 3 free progress. Now, we made 4 progress. And I did all that in the action window between staging and quest resolution, by the way. So 4 progress is going to go on 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 4. There we go. We're going to get rid of the collapsed mine. And now we face that question yet again. Do we want to... So now I feel like maybe we do take him down and we just let the Hammersmith take a hit. We have plenty of chumpy dwarves to take hits for us, and then we could just kill this thing. I think we better, because we're gonna have to deal with this cave troll at some point. All right, we are gonna optionally engage the warg. It's a shadow card. Hopefully this isn't a giant mistake, because the other option is I could pretty much quest over anything it puts out, because we have all these two willpower dwarves, so we could just quest over what's in there. But I like, similar to how I play Marvel Champions, if you happen to watch both of the games I play, I like to keep the staging area as clear as possible. So we're going to exhaust to defend with the Hammersmith. He actually could survive theoretically because he has 3 health and 1 defense. So if we don't get a shadow effect, the Hammersmith could live through this. Let's see. Attacking enemy gets +2. Nope. He gone. But nothing else happens. And even if this was one of those stupid annoying wargs that leaves when they don't get a shadow effect, he did get a shadow effect. So it all worked out. Now it's going to take 5 to kill him. Here's 3. And all the way down here is 2 more. So that's 5. Defeated. And we're looking good. We're looking good, friends. Shift N. Let's go to the next round. Oh, ho, 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 look at all those dwarves. And we got a ton of money. Could play a Thrower's Map that lets us travel to a location without dealing with its travel effect. Mildly helpful sometimes, depending on the quest. I think it's time to move on. I want to move on with as many ready characters as possible, just in case, because we know there's this big old thing. He's going to pop out at some point. I don't know when. And just if you've played this game a lot, you know if you're not familiar with the quest, you don't want to just move on to the next quest stage willy-nilly, because you just don't know anything could happen. So we would like to make 4 progress. There's 3 in the staging area. I'm not looking to kill this guy before we move on, because he has a 36 engagement cost, so as long as nothing stupid happens to our threat, we should be fine. I wish I'd Had something to do with all these lore resources. Again, I could play Gandalf. No, we're going to hold on to Gandalf because this will be easy to quest through, and then we might need him for questing later. So, let's quest with the people we're not going to be fighting with for sure, and let's use the right button to do it. It's a Q, 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 Q. I'm not crying. You're crying. Okay, that's 9 willpower. We need to make 4 progress and overcome 3. So if we only added 2 to the staging area, that would be enough. Let's just do a little bit more. In case we get a surge or something. That's 11. I wanna clear the quest with the barest minimum so that I have a lot of dwarves at my disposal. So we're gonna go with that. We're at 11. What are we gonna get? Boy, what's this? Watchful Eyes. That is a haunting picture. When revealed, the first player attaches Watchful Eyes to one of his heroes. It accounts as a condition attachment with the text limit 1 per hero forced. If attached hero is exhausted at the end of the combat, oh, I hope you know why I'm laughing. At the end of the combat phase, reveal 1 card from the encounter deck and add it to the staging area. What this card actually says is nothing. It's blank because we're going to attach it to Dane. And if all goes according to plan, he will never be exhausted at the end of the combat phase. And we will never reveal 1 card from the encounter deck and add it to the staging area. And we will laugh at the very scary goblin. So that was an easy staging. So we made 8 progress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is enough to complete the Dark of Nibin-Dum. Okay. I don't know what's going to happen, but hopefully we're set up as well as we can possibly be for it. Surprise attack. See? Of course it is. Of course it is. That's what I'm talking about. Things like this happen. As you search about the Caves of Nibin-Dum, you are ambushed by goblins. When revealed, add Goblin Chieftain to the staging area. I knew it. I knew it. Each player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a different enemy of his choice. Each player, not each other player? I gotta go get another goblin? Or another enemy. What? Don't these effects usually just punish the other players? I already got an enemy. Let's see what is left. Okay. Let's go into the staging area, right? We definitely don't want a sniper. They're not getting revealed, are they? No. Well, okay. Our options aren't great. I ain't taking another cave troll, that's for sure. Got this thing. It's attacking for 3, but it's not going to surge. At least it gets a surge out of the deck. And if I put this guy out there, he's just going to sit there and ping me every turn. Yeah, looks like it's this thing. Okay. There's not many enemies left in the deck, though. That's good to know. There's only 3 left. Keep that in mind. Close and shuffle. Make sure I did everything. Okay, now what else is going to happen? The goblins are led by a large chieftain who whips them into a frenzy. Oh yeah, we should have looked at him. His soldiers attack you with reckless savagery and you struggle to gain the upper hand. It must be exhausting to have to maintain a constant state of reckless savagery. These goblins just chill out once in a while. During the encounter phase, treat each enemy's engagement cost as if it were 0, but my threat's higher than 0. Oh, so what you're telling me is if I had taken one of those snipers. Yeah. Huh. And, let's see. It gets +4 quest points for each enemy in play. So right now it actually needs 12 to complete. Wow. So let's... Okay, let's take a look at this thing and figure out what we're going to do next. X is the stage number of the quest. He has X in all his stats. So let's see. He's got 2 threat, 2 attack, and 2 defense for now. But he can't take damage, so that means he's still going to be around. So his stats will get higher in the next stage. I'm hoping there's something that says his text box is blank or something so that I can actually kill it, or maybe you just never have to kill it. I'm not sure. And after he attacks, either remove X progress from the quest or return to the staging area. Oh, okay. So he's going to be bouncing back and forth. And we're engaging everything. This is not what you want to see, folks. We've got a 3 attack, a 2 attack, and a 6 attack. And this one, the excess damage removes 1 progress from the current quest. Oh, well, we don't care about that. There is no progress, so that's fine. So chump blocking him isn't as bad as it can be with other trolls. 2 and 3. All right. Well, we don't want to use Dane for 2 reasons. 1, this Watchful Eyes. I made a big noise about laughing at it, so we have to make sure we honor that by not exhausting him. But also, he has 3 defense, so anything pretty much can kill him with a shadow effect. So we're just going to pretend like Dane's not even there. Something's got to stand in front of this troll. And I think it's going to be one of these free dwarfs. Get what you pay for. Oh, no. I didn't mean to discard him. Come back. I'm going to be discarding you in a second, but not yet. Exhaust. He's taking 6 plus. Deal 1 damage to the defending character. Oh, tell me he has more than... Oh, my gosh. Oh, if he only had 1 hit point, he'd be dead, and I'd now be leveling a 6 attack at one of my heroes. Oh, that was scary. I need to be aware that that is in the deck. Okay. We made it. It's defended. That was terrifying. Okay, so now we have a 2 and a 3. Now, can anybody actually survive some of these? So one of these could actually survive a 2. And he could survive a 3. So let's exhaust the Hammersmith to block this 3 and hope it lives. It does. He does take 2 damage, but doesn't kill him. And then we're going to exhaust one of these to hopefully survive the 2. Again, and one of the snipers is gone. Excellent. He does take 1 damage. All right. So we survived that. Now, can we kill this thing? It's going to take 10 attack to kill it in 1 shot. We're attacking for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So close. I don't have any... No boosty cards. Okay, so we can't kill him. We can't damage him. Well, we can at least kill this thing. It only takes a swipe of 3. He gone. Okay, let's at least put as much damage on the troll as we can. Let's attack for 2, 4, 6. Dealing 2 damage. Look out. Oh, and this one, after he attacks, we would either remove 2 progress from the quest or return to the staging area. No big deal. Just forgot to do that. It goes back to the staging area so they can continue to contribute his threat. And that is that. Let's see how we're doing. We drew the Arid Nimraeus Prospector. Well, we can definitely afford him. After he enters play, discard the top 3 cards of your deck, then choose and shuffle 1 card from your discard pile back into your deck. Oh, cool. We have a lot of cards in our discard pile, so we can get 1 back. And maybe we'll get some more free money or something. Not that we really need it. So maybe we just play Gandalf to finish him off. Quest through this. See, if this guy dies, then this will only be 4 quest points on this. 2 threat in the staging area, because that'll be pretty easy. There's still another Gandalf in the deck, though. If we play this guy, we might discard. Actually, I don't know for sure. I shouldn't assume there's 3. I've got the deck right here. There is 3 Gandalfs. Good news. Okay, let's start out. 1, 2, let's bring him out, because we definitely need more dwarves. Always more dwarves. We're going to discard the top 3 cards and then shuffle 1 back into our deck. So we discarded a Gloin. A Hidden Cache. Okay, that's our free money one. So we get 2 resources on Dane. And Miner of the Iron Hills. Okay. Now, if we played him, we could get rid of that Watchful Eyes. So we did that. And the whole reason you want to do that is mainly to get the potential, the combo with the cards that get discarded. But we do get to shuffle something back in. So let's just see. Legacy of Durin, that time has kind of passed. Maybe we just try to keep the Gandalfs flowing like wine. Yeah, I think we just put Gandalf back in. Maybe it's kind of boring, but he is Gandalf. Okay. Close and keep order. Now, if I play Gandalf, I know I kept saying I was going to lower my threat, but now I think I might just finish him off so we don't have to deal with it. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? I'm not going to spend any from Dane. I'm going to spend it all. We've got so much lower resources. Play Gandalf. Going to deal 4 damage to the Cave Troll. It doesn't have victory points, so it just goes away. No reason not to just keep on. Okay, here's the thing. I was going to play this guy, because I thought, why not? But we have a million dwarves, and what we also have is this ability to ready all dwarf characters. So maybe I want to keep my leadership resources around for that. And I actually never noticed when I drew him. And I also have been forgetting the entire game. I'm so sorry, friends. You've probably been yelling at me every round. I apologize. If we control at least 5 dwarf characters, draw 1 additional card. Clearly, we control a lot of dwarves now. It's only been for a couple rounds that I had this army, but it's been a couple. It's been a few, so I've missed out on some free card draws. So I noticed it eventually. We'll definitely take my free card draw for this round, even though I've messed with some cards, but they're all random, so I'm not going to worry about that. So we have Legacy of Durin. Oh, it's been such a fun game. I don't want to play it again, or like restart it. So we're just going to live with that mistake. So now when we play a dwarf, we get to draw a card. And to be fair, it is a passive effect, so it's not even optional. It's just, I just missed. Whoa, what's going on here? Oh, I see. So now what is glowing? When I control at least 5 dwarf characters. After you play them from your hand, choose a hero, add 2 resources. Oh, so I could do something like this, for example. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Play him. After he enters play, I can choose a hero, add 2 resources, so he basically only costs 1. Exhaust this to draw a card. To be fair, we're doing fine without the extra free card every turn, but how much even better would we be doing? But, so now, yeah, we're going to save our 3. We don't need the Longbeard Elder. We can live without 1 more dwarf, and instead we're going to keep the option of the Lore of Moria on the table. Otherwise, it's going to take 3 turns to build up his resources again, so let's do that. Now, we need to make 4 progress on this, and we have 2 in the threat and the staging areas. So, we're going to quest. You always pretty much quest with these guys because they can't attack or defend, and we don't really need their ability right now. That's 9, 4, 5, 6. That's probably enough, but we'll send 1 more just in case. What do we get? The Goblin Dungeon, 3 threat. Reveal the top card in the encounter deck to travel here, and after it leaves play, you get to search the top 5 cards of your deck for now and put into play. Oh wow, you get a free ally, and there's 2 Gandalfs in the deck. Oh, speaking of Gandalf, totally forgot I played him. I probably should have quested with him. Oh well, at least I got to kill a cave troll. Neat. Okay, well, I think I am going to do this because we're really well set up if we do get another enemy. There's another cave troll in there, I believe. So we have to reveal the top card of the encounter deck to travel there. It's not dark, so we can't use the cave torch on it. So we're going to travel, encounter card, another location. While it's in the staging area, after Goblin is revealed from the encounter deck, remove a progress token. Okay. Oh, we forgot to resolve staging. Hold on. Oh, no, hold on. I'm sorry. I got all discombobulated here. I can fix this. We wouldn't have done that yet because this was staging. Now we have to resolve the quest. We make 6 progress, which is enough to complete this. Sorry. We'll deal with all that later. Okay, so that's that. Don't know what's going to happen. Let's move on. The Chasm. The goblins retreat down a dark tunnel, and you chase them into a large hall of many pillars. A wide chasm runs the width of the hall, and the goblins race across on a large plank. Their chieftain casts the plank into the depths of the chasm and disappears, leaving you stranded on the other side. Set Goblin Chieftain aside, out of play. Add Cracked Pillar to the staging area. Okay. Now, is there a way to just move it to the set aside area? Set aside. Wow. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to add the Cracked Pillar. What does this thing do? 2 threat, 2 quest points. Unique location. While Cracked Pillar is in the staging area, it gains the first player may declare an attack against Cracked Pillar during the combat phase. As if it was an enemy, engage with them. Use Cracked Pillar's threat as its defense, and then to travel to it, you have to remove 4 damage from it. So we have to put 4 damage on it, and presumably we need to travel to it and complete it. To move on. As you search for a way across, you see that one tall pillar near the edge of the chasm has cracked where it meets the ceiling. If you topple the pillar, it could serve to bridge the gap. Forced reveal an additional encounter card during the quest phase. Yee! So you do not want to stay here long. Progress cannot be placed on a cracked pillar, was in the staging area. So if you had any shenanigans like northern trackers and such, that doesn't work. And so yeah, we have to complete the... Okay. So, we can't travel to it. Okay, so everything's gonna work out the same because we're gonna go ahead and travel to this, which would have revealed this. So even though I kind of got ahead of myself, I think it didn't hurt anything. Now we need to smack this thing as hard as we can. So it has 2 defense. We need to put 4 damage on it. So all we need to do is attack it for 6, which we're going to do now. We're going to move on to the combat phase. Nothing to engage, so we're just going to attack for 3. 7. There, Gandalf did something. I don't know if anything can remove damage from it, so let's just go ahead and attack it for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so this has 18 damage on it. I think we obliterated the cracked pillar. We have disintegrated it into dust. So if there are any effects that remove damage from it, I think we're going to be okay. We're going to refresh, discard Gandalf, start a new round. And of course, as always, when you start a new round with 5 dwarves, you draw a card. Got a cram, and we've got 2 of these Durin songs. Okay, I think it's time to just try to push this to its conclusion. We are incredibly well set up. All of the enemies are pretty much dead, which means we're just going to start getting locations and treacheries. And that's not good for us, friends. So let's just try to, we just need to complete this, travel to this, and then we have to, okay, so it's going to take a couple rounds to do this. So let's just get moving. West. So that is 13. We're up against 4, 9. Okay, let's quest for a good chunk here. That's 14. We'll keep, we know there's not very many enemies left in the deck. So let's just quest for a ton here. See what we get by pushing the right button. Crumbling Ruin. When revealed, each player must exhaust a character and discard the top card of his deck. If able, the printed cost of the discarded card is equal to or higher than the remaining hit points of the exhausted character. Discard the exhausted character. That was a whole bunch of words. Okay, so I have to exhaust somebody. He has 3 hit points. Now we have to discard the top card. If it has a cost of 3 or higher. Equal to or higher, yes. It was a 2, so we live. That's all that did. And so we make 18 progress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 13 on here, but it doesn't matter. Not damage. Actually, there's a line there. I don't know if you can even put progress on there, but it's fine. Doesn't matter. So after it leaves play as an explored location, I get to search the top 5 cards in my deck for an ally and put it in play for free. Look at top 5. There he is. Close and shuffle. So we played Gandalf for free. Let's go ahead and lower our threat. We definitely don't need to draw cards. So we'll lower our threat by 5. This is completed, and now we can travel to the cracked pillar because we have to remove 4 damage from it. We can do that. And now we just need to complete that. Yep. All right. Refresh. I'm just kind of rushing through the end here now. I think we have this, but we don't know what's going to happen. We want to see it through. So, new round. Draw an extra card. We only have 3 left in our deck. So we might as well play a couple more dwarves here. We're going to skip his response because we don't need anything really. I could shuffle a card. He's going to empty my deck and then put 1 card back in it. Why not? 1, 2, 3. Oh, 2 more free money. Now we get to shuffle 1 card in. Think you know what it's going to be, friends? I know I've been I didn't do King Under the Mountain and stuff like that last couple turns, but we just don't care. Am I looking at the right? Where's my Gandalfs? Right? Gandalf's in here somewhere. There he is. We're going to move to counter deck. Shuffle in. All right. Close and keep the order. Wait. Shouldn't there be... Oh, I shuffled him into the encounter deck. Hold on. Hold on, I'm not looking, I swear. Close and shuffle. Sorry about that. Oh, this is what happens when you try to go too fast. Okay. So I was saying, I know I haven't been using that. Yeah, it's hard to remember all these. I've got 32 cards on the table, and plus, I never felt the need to draw too many more cards, so But try to remember your stuff. When I played him, I could draw a card. Yep. And, well, we know what it's going to be. But we're going to save that for the next turn because I don't know. Hopefully I can kill this thing. So we did that. Could play the miner. Why not? That will let us discard this because that's what the miner does. We'll play a cram on Dane just because. Got 2 copies of Durin's Song. We could put a Thor's Map. Yeah, let's just use all these cards. And if we ever want to travel to something with an annoying travel effect, we can just discard that to ignore it. Okay, I think that's all we're going to do. Nope, I lied. Can afford him and still play the Lore of Moria if we need to. Okay, woohoo! Here we go. So we just need to clear this and then move on. So, send all our standard questers here. This guy down here actually has pretty good willpower, pretty good willpower. All right, we're questing for 17. What we get? Branchy paths. The dark locations are getting +1 threat, so that's +1 there and +1 there. So we made 12 progress, which is 2 on that, and then 15 over here, but who cares? Or not. That's how math works, right? So we completed this. Strangely, it doesn't go to the victory display or anything. Yeah. That's that. After Cracked Pillar leaves play as explored location, advance to stage 4A. Let's do it. Oathkeepers. You've made it across the chasm and resumed the chase. The goblins rally around their chieftain outside the dungeon where the woodman villagers are being held. You must defeat the big goblin if you are to fulfill your oath and rescue the captives. When revealed, add Goblin Chieftain to the staging area. So now all his stats are 4. Yikes. Flip. While there are at least 8 progress tokens on this stage, there it is. Goblin Chieftain loses the text, cannot take damage, so we have to put 8 progress on this, and then stage cannot be defeated while Goblin Chieftain is in play. Okay. So we gotta put 8 on here, and then kill him. So now, do we want to travel to one of these? I don't think I forgot this true. Oh, it never mattered. We never needed progress while this was out, so hopefully this isn't something I forgot. We're not gonna worry about those. We are going to engage the Goblin Chieftain, gets a shadow card. Now he is attacking for 4. We are going to throw the Prospector in front of it. Shadow card is nothing. And we can't quite damage him yet, and we would have to remove progress from this to keep him, so he's going to go back to the staging area. And we're going to move on to the next round. We would draw an extra card, but we don't have any. I'm going to move. There we go. That little bar in the middle was bugging me. Okay, so now we need to make 8 progress and then kill this thing. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play Gandalf. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he is going to lower our threat, just so it looks nice. And then we are going to quest with pretty much everybody. Yep, that's right. You guys down here too. Join the party. We're going to ignore his response because we just don't care. So we have added 35 willpower to our committed quest total. And then in the action window before staging, we're going to pay 3 to play the Lore of Moria to ready all dwarf characters. Hold on, friends. Oh, but don't uncommit them to the quest. There we go. So hopefully we can make 8 progress here. We are sending 35. What we get? Uh-oh. Eyes in the dark. Threat goes up by 1. Doom. And what else does it do? Each player must choose either raise your threat by 1 for each questing character you control or discard a questing character you control. All right, we control. Let's just find out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 quest characters. So we could put our threat at 42 or boop. Or a spider scurries off with just a little Heirloom Miner. He had a damage on him. Spiders can smell blood in the air. I just made up. And scurried away with him. Okay, so we still have 33. We make 24 progress. There. Now, we're going to travel to that. He has lost his text. Cannot take damage. Because there is 8 progress on this quest. So, he is attacking for 6. Gandalf is going to be very ever so kind to block it for us. Shadow card is deal 1 damage to the defending character. Thankfully, I used Gandalf and not somebody weaker. And now Gandalf is taking a hit of 4, which will actually be enough to knock him out. But now we just need to deal... He's got 4 defense and 8 health. We need to do 12 damage. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. So they can't attack. 6, 7. 8, 9. 10, 11. 12, 13. 14. 15, 16. 17. Sorry, I'm just having a little fun here. 18, 19. 20, 21. 22, 23. 23 damage. Which, let's see. He has 4 defense, so... What's 19 damage on him? He is defeated. When this stage is defeated, the heroes rescue the captives, fulfilling their oaths, and the players win the game. Yay! Go team. Alright, we did it. We rescued the captives. We saved the day. We fulfilled our oath. We massed a major army of dwarves. We missed a few triggers. We made a few mistakes. But I think the game should be plenty valid. The things I missed really mostly just would have made my life easier. So, it was a bit of a longer one. Hope you were able to stick with me through to the end. I really want to thank you for joining me on this series where I took a look at all these 4 starter decks. I think they are all amazing, and if I were a brand new player getting into this game, I would be very pleased that they made these, because as somebody who played from the core set days, the core set decks were not that fun in the early days. I mean, I don't want to say that. They were fun. You know, the game was awesome when it came out and we really enjoyed it. But, you know, obviously the decks got a lot better as more cards came out. So having access to these 4 decks at the very beginning, if you're just new to this game, you're just going to have so much fun. And it's a good thing, too, because they've announced that the next product is going to be the revised edition of the Angmar Awakened cycle, which is pretty tough. They jumped 4 cycles ahead to come to that one. Now I'm excited because that's my favorite cycle. That's my favorite quest. That's some of my favorite heroes. It's a really cool theme. But those quests are pretty hard. Actually, a couple of the hardest quests in the entire game are in that cycle. So it's a good thing that we have these starter decks that are going to be strong enough to hopefully handle those quests. But that is going to do it for the starter deck series. Now, I mentioned in my last video that I wasn't sure what I'm going to do next, but I think I now know. And I'll go ahead and say it now. I was looking at some of the decks on RingsDB, and I was looking particularly at C-Stan's decks, and he used to make videos for all his new decks, and they were just awesome. I've watched his videos like hundreds of times. He was my favorite YouTuber for the longest time when I was into this game. I was just always watching his videos over and over. But, you know, he hasn't had time to make videos anymore, which is fine, obviously. So what I'm going to do is I found one of his decks that looks really cool. I'll pull it up now, actually. Just hang out with me for one more minute. Let me click on deck list here. All right, let me just pull it up. Yeah, C-Stan. He built this deck that looked really cool that we never saw in any videos that I would really like to try, and this is thinking really hard about if it wants to show me these decks or not. He has so very many decks, it took 10 minutes to load them all. So he has one, let me find it here, called Gift of the First Beorn. Ha ha ha. First of all, it's a clever title. But it contains one of my absolute favorite heroes, Beorn, and it also has Arwen, who is very fun. And it has Gildor, who I never used. And I was just looking at this deck, and it looks like a lot of fun. So what I'm going to do next is I want to try the core set campaign that they came out with, the revised edition. And so I'm going to be taking this deck through the core set campaign that they added. So the core set quest, Passage Through Mirkwood, Journey Along the Anduin, the prison one, Dol Guldur, Escape from Dol Guldur. And then they also had the Dark of Mirkwood pack that had the quest cards for the 2 quests we just played, the Oath and the Caves of Nibin-Dum. And Dragon Cards does have the campaign cards for the revised core set. So I don't know, actually. Hopefully that includes the Dark of Mirkwood cards. I'll find out, but either way, I'm going to be playing that deck against the new campaign. So that's what's going to be next. So that'll be probably 5 videos because there's 5 quests. Unless it goes really fast, maybe I can double up some of them. We're going to take the Gift of the Firstborn against that. So look forward to those videos coming hopefully soon. And again, I want to thank you for joining me for this. And, you know, if this brought you some happiness today, I hope you'll give the video a like. And if you want to hang out with me in the future, subscribe to the channel. And otherwise, folks, I hope you'll join us next time we get up and game. Take care. Bye-bye.